All right, let's dive into peptides. We've got a ton of research on these tiny molecules, and it looks like you're really interested in how they can impact like metabolism, aging, and weight management.
It seems like you're ready to unlock the secrets of peptides.
Yeah.
And we're here to help guide you through the science and uncover the most fascinating details.
So, what exactly are peptides, and why should we be excited about them?
So think of proteins, like those massive Lego castles you built as a kid.
Okay,
And peptides are like the individual building blocks.
I like that analogy.
Yeah, they're short chains of amino acids. And because they're smaller than proteins, they can actually sneak through barriers in the body that larger molecules can't.
So they're like tiny ninjas slipping through defenses.
Exactly. This makes them incredibly efficient messengers.
Hmm.
And targeted treatments. Peptides play a crucial role in tons of processes like regulating your metabolism, repairing cells, and keeping your hormones balanced.
And why is that so important?
Well, as we get older, our natural peptide production starts to slow down. This decline is linked to all sorts of things we associate with aging. A slower metabolism, decreased muscle mass, you name it.
Ah, so that's why we start feeling the effects of aging. It's like our body's internal communication system isn't as efficient anymore.
That's a great way to put it. And here's where things get really interesting. Modern science has found ways to supplement with peptides, potentially slowing down or even reversing some of those age-related changes.
Okay, hold on. Rewind that. Are you saying we can actually replenish what our bodies are no longer producing as effectively?
That's right. By supplementing with peptides, we're essentially giving our bodies a boost, helping those communication pathways run smoothly again.
This is already blowing my mind, and we're just getting started. So how do these little peptides work their magic in the body? What's the mechanism?
So imagine each cell in your body has tiny locks on its surface called receptors. Peptides are like keys that fit perfectly into those locks. When a peptide binds to its matching receptor, it triggers a cascade of signals inside the cell, like a chain reaction, setting off very specific actions.
So it's not just one type of peptide doing everything, right? There must be different peptides for different purposes.
You got it. It's like having a whole toolbox of specialized messengers, each with a unique function. And in your research, you included info on several key categories of peptides.
Yes. Let's start with the metabolic peptides, because those seem especially relevant to weight management and energy levels, things a lot of us struggle with.
Absolutely. Metabolic peptides can be powerful allies in that arena. They help regulate your metabolism, impacting how your body processes energy and burns fat. One example you mentioned is MOTSC, which has shown real promise in improving insulin sensitivity and boosting energy expenditure.
MOTSC, interesting. It sounds like it could be a game changer for people struggling with metabolic issues. Now, what about those neuroprotective peptides? Those sound intriguing.
They are fascinating. Neuroprotective peptides are all about brain health. They protect your brain from damage, support cognitive function, and may even play a role in preventing those dreaded neurodegenerative diseases.
So we're talking about potentially boosting brain power and protecting ourselves from cognitive decline.
Exactly. Imagine feeling mentally sharper, remembering names effortlessly, and tackling complex tasks with ease. That's the potential these neuroprotective peptides offer. Two examples you were curious about are CMAX and pineolon.
I'm already adding those to my research list. Okay, what about regenerative peptides? I've heard athletes and people recovering from injuries rave about those.
You're right. Regenerative peptides are like the body's repair crew. They promote healing and tissue repair, which is fantastic for injury recovery, wound healing, and even addressing chronic pain. Examples like BPC 157 and TB 500 have been making waves in the sports medicine world.
Wow, it seems like there's a peptide for almost everything. This is why I'm so fascinated by this field.
I know, it's incredibly exciting. And we've only just scratched the surface.
Right.
Remember, you also sent us info about peptides that target aging and longevity. Now, that's where things get really interesting.
Yes, longevity, the idea of not just living longer, but living better, maintaining vitality and cognitive function as we age. Let's dive into that next. You mentioned that longevity is about extending those healthy years of our lives.
Exactly. And peptides are emerging as key players in that quest. Let's start with GHKQ, a copper-binding peptide that's like a multitasking skincare hero.
Wait, so these peptides can make my skin look younger, A&D, help my hair grow. Where do I sign up?
Well, let's not get ahead of ourselves. GHKQ is known for its ability to stimulate collagen production, which is essential for youthful skin. It also speeds up wound healing and can even improve skin elasticity, reducing wrinkles. It's becoming increasingly popular in aesthetics and regenerative medicine for a reason.
Okay, I'm sold. Now, what about FOXO4-DRI? This one sounds a bit more complex.
FOXO4-DRI is a synthetic peptide that targets those zombie cells we talked about, senescent cells.
Right, the ones that have stopped dividing and functioning properly, but hang around causing trouble.
Precisely. Think of FXXO4-DRI as a sort of cellular cleanup crew, targeting those senescent cells and potentially extending cell lifespan, delaying that age-related decline we all want to avoid.
Wow, this is incredible. It sounds like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's real science happening right now.
It truly is cutting edge,
Yeah.
and it highlights the immense potential of peptides in tackling the challenges of aging.
All right, we've covered peptides for metabolism, brain health, tissue repair, and even longevity. What about weight management? You mentioned that some peptides can help with that too, right? Because I know that's a big concern for a lot of people, myself included.
Absolutely. As we age, hormonal shifts can lead to weight gain, especially around the belly, thanks to decreased growth hormone and a slowing metabolism.
Tell me about it. So how can peptides help us fight back against those age-related changes?
There are several peptides that show promise in this area. For example, CJC-1295 works by boosting your body's natural growth hormone production,
Hello?
leading to a revved-up metabolism and increased fat burning.
So it's like giving our bodies a nudge to produce more of its own fat-burning hormone. Sign me up. What else?
CJC-1295 is often paired with another peptide called ipamorelin, which also increases growth hormone levels, but with potentially fewer side effects. It's especially good at promoting fat loss while preserving that precious muscle mass, which is key for maintaining a healthy metabolism.
That sounds like a winning combo. Any other peptides on the weight loss front that you wanted to mention?
Yes, there's also AOD9604. This one is fascinating because it's a modified fragment of growth hormone that specifically targets fat cells, breaking them down without affecting muscle tissue. Research suggests it can be incredibly effective in reducing body fat, especially for people struggling with obesity.
It sounds like peptides offer a lot of amazing potential benefits, but I have a feeling there are some safety considerations we need to discuss too, right? It's important to be responsible when dealing with something this powerful.
You are absolutely right. Before jumping headfirst into the world of peptides, there are some crucial safety and legal considerations to keep in mind.
Let's definitely discuss those in detail in our next segment, because responsible use is paramount.
Agreed. We'll cover all that and more when we return. Welcome back to our deep dive into the incredible world of peptides.
It's amazing to think that these tiny molecules can have such a huge impact on our health and well-being. It's like they hold the keys to unlocking our body's full potential.
I know, it's truly remarkable. And we've only just begun to scratch the surface of what peptides can do. There's still so much more to discover and understand.
Before we move on, though, I have a question that's been bugging me. We keep talking about peptides mimicking hormones, but what's the actual difference between a peptide and a hormone?
That's a great question, and it's an important distinction to make. While both peptides and hormones act as chemical messengers in the body, there are some key differences.
Okay, break it down for me. What sets them apart?
First, let's talk about size. Peptides are much smaller than hormones. Think of peptides as those short, impactful text messages you send, while hormones are like writing a whole email. Peptides are concise and targeted, while hormones deliver more complex instructions.
So peptides are like those quick, efficient messengers getting straight to the point.
Exactly. Another difference is how they travel in the body. Hormones are often produced in one specific location, like a gland, and then they take a long journey through the bloodstream to reach their target cells. They're like cross-country travelers.
Makes sense. So hormones are more like long-distance communicators.
Precisely. Peptides, on the other hand, are more like local messengers. They might be produced by a cell and then act only on nearby cells, or even just within the same cell where they were made. They're like the neighborhood gossip, keeping things running smoothly on a local level.
Interesting. So it's all about reach and target area. What about how they interact with cells? Is there a difference there too?
Absolutely. Hormones often bind to receptors located inside the cell, either in the cytoplasm or the nucleus. They're like VIPs getting backstage access.
So hormones get to go behind the scenes and really shake things up at a deeper level.
That's a great way to visualize it. Peptides, however, typically bind to receptors on the cell's surface, triggering a cascade of signals inside the cell without actually entering it. They're more like those friends who knock on your door and send you on a mission.
Okay, I think I'm getting it now. Hormones go deep, peptides send signals from the outside. That makes a lot of sense. Thanks for clearing that up for me.
No problem. I'm glad we could clarify that.
Yeah.
Now, I know we've touched on several different categories of peptides, but there's one more I want to dive into a bit deeper. Peptides for skin health.
Yes, I was hoping we'd get to this. It's no secret that maintaining youthful, healthy skin is a high priority for a lot of people. And I've seen more and more skincare products highlighting peptides as a key ingredient. What's the deal with peptides in skincare?
Peptides are becoming superstars in the skincare world, and for good reason. They can address a wide range of skin concerns, from those pesky wrinkles and fine lines to uneven skin tone and loss of elasticity. One of their main superpowers is boosting collagen production.
Right. Collagen is that protein that gives our skin its structure and firmness. It's what keeps us looking young and bouncy. But I've heard it starts to decline as we age.
You're absolutely right. As we get older, our collagen production naturally slows down, leading to those visible signs of aging like wrinkles and sagging.
So these peptides are like a collagen boost, helping to replenish what we're losing naturally.
Precisely. And some peptides go even further, stimulating elastin production, another protein that's crucial for maintaining that youthful elasticity and bounce.
So they're helping our skin snap back into place like a rubber band. I love it.
Exactly. And that's not all. Certain peptides act as antioxidants, protecting the skin from damage caused by those pesky free radicals we always hear about.
Right. Free radicals are those unstable molecules that damage our cells and contribute to aging, like little rust particles wreaking havoc in our bodies.
That's a great analogy. By neutralizing free radicals, peptides can help prevent premature aging and keep your complexion healthy and vibrant.
It sounds like they're waging a multi-front war against aging, which is awesome.
Mm.
Are there any specific peptides in skincare that you're particularly excited about, ones that I should be looking out for?
There are so many exciting peptides out there, but let's focus on a couple that you'll often see on skincare labels. One is matrixyl, also known as palmitoyl pentapeptide 4. It's becoming increasingly popular for its ability to stimulate collagen production and reduce the appearance of wrinkles.
Matrixyl, I've definitely seen that one. It sounds like it's living up to its name by supporting the skin's matrix. What else?
Another one to watch out for is arginine, also known as acetyl hexapeptide 8. It's often called a Botox-like peptide because it targets those muscle contractions that contribute to wrinkle formation.
Oh, so it's like a gentler topical alternative to Botox. That's definitely appealing.
You could think of it that way. By relaxing those tiny muscle contractions, arginine can help smooth out wrinkles and prevent new ones from forming. It's like a wrinkle relaxer in a bottle.
It's amazing how these peptides can target specific mechanisms of aging. Are there any other noteworthy peptides for skin health?
Absolutely. Don't forget about copper peptides, like the GHKQ we discussed earlier. Remember how we talked about its role in wound healing and collagen production?
Yes, it's like the overachiever of the peptide world. Good for skin, good for hair. What can it do?
You're right. Copper peptides are incredibly versatile. When applied topically, they can improve skin texture, reduce hyperpigmentation, and even promote hair growth.
So they're not just good for our faces, they can benefit our hair too. Amazing.
It's true. Copper peptides are truly multi-talented, and the research continues. There are many other peptides being studied and incorporated into skincare products, each with its unique benefits.
It sounds like the world of peptide skincare is constantly evolving, which is exciting. There's always something new to discover.
It is a rapidly evolving field. It's fascinating to see how these tiny molecules are changing how we approach skincare and aging. Speaking of the future, where do you see the field of peptides heading in general? What are you most excited about?
That's a great question. The future of peptides is incredibly promising. Researchers are constantly discovering new peptides and exploring their potential applications in all sorts of areas related to health and well-being.
One area that has me particularly intrigued is personalized peptide therapy. As we learn more about individual genetic variations and how they influence peptide activity, we can start to tailor peptide treatments to specific needs.
So it's like personalized medicine, but with peptides. That's incredible.
Exactly. Imagine receiving a peptide regimen designed specifically for your unique genetic makeup and your individual health goals.
That sounds like the future of healthcare.
Huh.
Are there any other areas where you see peptides making a big impact?
Another area with huge potential is the development of new peptides for treating challenging diseases. Researchers are exploring peptides that could target cancer cells more effectively, or peptides that could slow the progression of neurodegenerative diseases like Alzheimer's.
Wow, those are some pretty ambitious goals.
They are, and while there's still much research to be done, the early findings are definitely encouraging. We're also seeing exciting developments in using peptides for regenerative medicine, like repairing damaged tissues and organs.
It sounds like peptides could play a crucial role in the future of medicine. The possibilities seem endless.
They really do. Peptides are tiny molecules with immense potential, and we're only just beginning to tap into what they can do.
This has been such a fascinating journey into the world of peptides. I feel like I've gained a whole new appreciation for these powerful little molecules.
I agree. It's been a pleasure exploring this topic with you.
We'll wrap up our exploration of peptides in the next part of this episode, where we'll discuss responsible peptide use and some important things to keep in mind as you continue your own research. For now, let those wheels keep turning and think about how this new knowledge about peptides might influence your own approach to health and well-being. It's a fascinating world out there. Welcome back to the deep dive. It feels like we've only just scratched the surface, but here we are at the final part of our exploration into peptides.
I know, it's amazing how much ground we've covered. From the basic science of peptides to their potential impact on everything from metabolism and aging to skin health and disease treatment.
We even got a glimpse into the future with personalized peptide therapy, new drug development, and the possibility of extending lifespan. It's mind-blowing. But before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier, responsible peptide use.
That's a crucial point. As with any powerful tool or therapy, responsible use is absolutely paramount when it comes to peptides.
We've already talked about practical steps like consulting healthcare professionals, sourcing peptides carefully, and following dosage instructions.
Those are essential starting points, for sure. But there's more to responsible peptide use than just checking those boxes.
What else should people keep in mind as they explore this world?
One thing I always emphasize is the importance of realistic expectations. Peptides are not a magic bullet.
Right.
They can be powerful tools, but they work best as part of a holistic approach to health and well-being.
So it's not about just taking a peptide and expecting miracles overnight. It's about integrating them into a healthy lifestyle.
Exactly. It's about seeing peptides as one piece of the puzzle, not the entire solution. Think balanced diet, regular exercise, stress management, quality sleep. All those things we know contribute to a healthy life.
Peptides are like that extra boost, helping you optimize what you're already doing, right?
That's a great way to think about it. It's also important to remember that everyone responds to peptides differently. What works wonders for one person might not have the same effect on another.
So it's a journey of self-discovery, working closely with knowledgeable healthcare professionals to find what works best for you as an individual.
I couldn't agree more. It's about personalized optimization, finding the right tools for your unique needs and goals.
Another thing that strikes me is the importance of patience. I know we live in a world of instant gratification, but peptides aren't a quick fix, are they?
They're definitely not. They often take time to work their magic, and consistency is key.
So it's about sticking with a plan and not getting discouraged if the results aren't immediate.
Precisely. It's about trusting the process and working with your body, not against it. And speaking of staying informed, that's another crucial aspect of responsible peptide use.
Right. The field of peptide research is constantly evolving, with new discoveries and applications emerging all the time.
Exactly. It's a dynamic field, which makes it all the more exciting. But it also means you need to stay up to date on the latest research and recommendations.
So it's about being an active participant in your health journey, doing your research and making informed decisions.
Absolutely. Knowledge is power, especially when it comes to something as potent and nuanced as peptides.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive into the world of peptides. I feel like we've just embarked on a fascinating adventure, and I'm eager to see where this journey leads.
It's been a pleasure sharing this exploration with you. It's a field full of possibilities, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for peptides.
As we wrap up this deep dive, I want to leave you with one final thought. As you continue exploring the world of peptides, remember that knowledge is your most valuable tool. The more you understand about these remarkable molecules, the better equipped you'll be to make informed decisions about your health and well-being. So, keep learning, keep exploring, and stay curious. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of peptides.